2023. A very good evening to you and a very warm welcome to KUTV Primetime News. We can now start the Christmas countdown, can't we? So much has happened in the country today and we're here to bring you up to speed with all that. But first, let's take a look at what the stories making headlines tonight. President William Ruto sends the NGCDF Amendment Bill into law in a bid to bolster education and national development. DP Gachagua urges African countries to implement visa-free continent proposal as the 6th Youth Connect Africa Summit comes to an end. Motorists plying Langata Road are to use other routes as Kenyans prepare for Jamhuri Day celebrations tomorrow. And Charles Munerio wins the men's Malaga Marathon 2023 as Pamela Rotich bags gold in the women's marathon race.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Odida.
Also in language interpreter tonight is Samuel Kela. We are live on YouTube at KUTV News Kenya. Remember to interact with us on X at KUTV_Kenya at Odida. We begin. President William Ruto has today signed into law the National Government Constituency Development Fund, that is NGCDF Amendment Bill, and the National Lottery Bill. The NGCDF law aims at giving the government an opportunity to work with members of parliament in each constituency, with the lottery law mandated to regulate betting companies and also ensure that funds are mobilized from the betting apps. Ruto has emphasized that the government has shown patriotism to work together so as to deliver what is good for the country. Listen in. All right, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua officially closed the 4th-day Youth Connect Africa Summit at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC, with a call for fast implementation of the proposal on making Africa a visa-free continent. Gachagua has urged youths to have boundless creativity in pursuing their dreams while aligning their innovations in areas of state and partners' interest to secure funding.
As the 6th Youth Connect Africa Summit comes to an end at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC, with youth-led organizations being awarded for creating solutions to African problems, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has urged youths to embrace the borderless renaissance that is advocated for by African leaders in their businesses, creativity, and innovation. Gachagua further urged the youth to align their innovation to areas of interest to partners and government.
As part of the strategies of securing funding, I urge you to align your innovations to areas of interest to partners and states. On the other hand, the conversation of this summit has pulled down the borders. Henceforth, take the conversation forward with your peers.
Additionally, the Deputy President lauded the African youth, stating that it has embraced change in technology, which presents an opportunity to address challenges such as poverty and unemployment.
The challenges we face are vast and complex, from climate change and unemployment to poverty, inequality, among others. But within these challenges lies opportunities for innovation, for entrepreneurship, and for social change.
Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs in Sports Ababu Namwamba expressed his commitment of ensuring that innovations that have emerged out of the gathering will be progressed to businesses and hold leaders across Africa accountable to their promise of borderless Africa.
We want to see action. And so among the things we have agreed on is that the innovations that have emerged out of this gathering will be progressed to businesses and entrepreneurship to offer jobs and opportunities for youth across this continent.
This is in line with the ongoing conversation among heads of state of African countries on opening up borders to ease movement of people within the continent, which in essence creates a conducive environment for business to thrive and promote integration of people. Anyango Sylvia, KUTV.
Now, Interior Principal Secretary Raymond Omollo has announced that at least 3 foreign heads of state are expected to attend the Jamhuri Day celebration slated for tomorrow, December 12th, at Uhuru Gardens in Nairobi, where approximately 30,000 people will be hosted. Nairobi Police Commander Adamson Bungei has also warned motorists against using Langata Road on Tuesday due to the expected heavy traffic from the celebrations. Tourism Cabinet Secretary Alfred Muto on his part has announced free access to all national parks and museums for Kenyans on Jamhuri Day. Tomorrow's celebrations will mark 60 years since Kenya gained its independence. Laikipia Governor Joshua Irungu has announced the formation of 6 hospital management boards to oversee and manage health institutions in the area. The boards will be responsible for promoting the development of hospitals, approving plans and programs for the county government, and providing oversight and improving healthcare in the county. Aisha Saif with that report.
Governor Joshua Irungu, while unveiling the management boards at the governor's compound in Nanyuki, has assured of the government's support to ensure that the new members will have conducive environment to improve healthcare in the county.
We have been running the hospitals without the well-established boards. And any other time that we have been running with the boards are boards that we are not out of this level. What we are expecting as a county is we are expecting that a number of things that have been and a number of services that have been stored for long that have not been actualized, now we are going to actualize.
Nanyuki Hospital Board Chair Evan Jenga on her part has said that Kenya is still struggling to manage to budget every hospital spending, putting in mind its willingness to manage them. Eva added that Kenya has the ability to look for investors and partners to mobilize funds.
We are struggling. The fact that you are willing to do that. The rest about mobilizing funds, we can look for funds. I know there's many people and partners. There will be people we can bring in to partner with us.
Governor Irungu has also said that they will make sure that they have accreditation of Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Hospital since they fought for it to be accredited, it being one of the hospitals in the county in need of reforms.
Accreditation of our Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Hospital, which we have struggled for many years to be aggregated to a teaching and referral hospital. Now it is going to be done.
Moreover, Irungu has assured that free medical service will reach every person, even in the most remote areas, that government is looking forward to adding El Nino units in major towns.
We are on the trajectory of ensuring that the outreach in terms of free medical services are given to our people, even in the most remote areas. These are some of the things that we are doing. Nyahururu, which used not to have even a Lino unit, today we have a Lino unit with a bed capacity of 10, and we are even looking forward even to go beyond the major towns, going to the rural areas, and even establishing a Lino unit in Dideka.
The government has assured to come up with strategic plans in every hospital that will develop a roadmap on how to improve them. Aisha Saif, KUTV.
Now, Kenya Party leader Martha Karua has called on additional investment on the health sector so as to improve service delivery. Karua said that equipping hospitals will end foreign trips to seek for medical services. Karua was speaking in Kirinyaga County after she visited the ailing former NDA Member of Parliament Kinyua Mbui, who is set for advanced treatment in India. Similar sentiments were echoed by Kirinyaga County Member of Parliament Jane Njeri, who stated that she is pushing for the Health Amendment Bill 2023 so as to ensure that Mbui gets the highest attainable health care.
I'm still 2023, and I am hoping that once we resume Parliament, I will be able to table it on the floor for first reading so that we can ensure we protect the common mwananchi.
If we equip our hospitals in Kenya, in all the counties and nationally, we will not need to raise money to go to India. We need a good health service.
All right, we are taking a very fast short break at this point. Of course, we are coming back with more, so stay with us.
Kenyatta University will hold its 54th graduation ceremony on Friday, 15th December 2023 at the main campus along Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony. The graduation will also be streamed live on KUTV, KU Radio, KU website and all KU social media platforms. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-30920, 0786-335-111 or visit the Kenyatta University website on www.ku.ac.ke. The theme for the graduation ceremony is Scaling Education and Research for Sustainable Development. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
Kipindi hewani ni mitindo ya kipwani. Kama ilivyo kipindi hiki kinahusu nyimbo za taarab, chakacha, midwara, midundiko, bila kusahau mapishi. Ambao ndio uti wa mgongo wa pwani ya Afrika Mashariki.
Jamani swahibu zangu mliopo maskani, hatuonani wenzangu, najua mwanitamani.
Hapa KUTV, nahodha mwendesha chombo cha baharini, yani ua linalonukia na kuvutia waridi tamu.
From the farm to the consumer, we explore agribusiness opportunities right here with you.
Changamoto lingine ni soko. Soko saa ingine bei inashuka tu drastic, kama saa hii hoho imeshuka chini.
On Money Monday, we explore business stories and engage business professionals as reference points for analyzing investment opportunities.
Last year, the economy grew by 4.8%. Which is really an indication of the resilience of the economy.
If we don't grow the economy, then we cannot have economic transformation.
We shall bring you up to speed with everything taking center stage in the business world and the state of the nation. Join me and Odida every Sunday and Monday for captivating, entertaining and informative stories at 9 p.m.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Health is a show that creates awareness on matters health and informs you on various diseases, their causes, treatment, prevention, coping, and support. So join me, Bwari Michelle, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. only on KUTV. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at KUTV Focus on Health on Facebook and also on YouTube, and Health Focus on Instagram, because your health is your wealth. Stay safe and stay healthy.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Ann Odida.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Now, Director General of the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, Dr. McDonald Obudho, has cautioned the county government of Kiambu to address the nutrition and health challenges facing the county, as more than a half of Kiambu women have been reported to be suffering from obesity. This happens as the county is also expected to get a boost of a well-equipped hospital from a private investor. This and more in tonight's County Wrap.
Kiambu County has been reported to have a higher percentage of women suffering from obesity, as a research made by the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey revealed that 55.6% of women aged between 20 and 49 are obese and overweight, compared to the 28% of men. The Director General of the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, Dr. McDonald Obudho, called on the Kiambu County government to utilize the data and come up with interventions to address the nutrition and health challenges among its residents.
And so here in Kiambu, it is noted that obesity is very high. Nutritional status of children is also not good, and that makes it very, very important for the players in the health sector to come up with interventions that will help the people of Kiambu.
In Murang'a County, the Murang'a Water and Sanitation Company has rolled out a water connectivity project in Kambiti Ward, a project which is being backed by the county governor, Irungu Kang'ata. More than 1,000 households in southwest Murang'a have already been connected.
Mowasco has brought water to Kambiti Market. Murang'a County government has brought water to Kambiti Market. Kambiti Ward has about 20,000 residents. They do not have water. This is a good start. Of course, we are not saying we have achieved 100% our goal, no.
Elsewhere, about 25 counties have experienced a slight fall of the funding of the school feeding program. This is according to a report of the audit of the government-funded feeding program. In the audit, the government spends between 10 to 12 Kenya shillings to each child per day, while the private sector organization, which have been conducting the same program, have been reported to have been spending at least 30 Kenya shillings to each child per day. The 10 Kenya shillings per child was set by the World Food Program in the year 2009, but it have not yet been reviewed despite the rise in the price of food across the country. Derek Odhiambo, KUTV.
All right, allow us to take a very short break at this point. We're coming back with much more. Stay with us.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
What is really regulation? Is it about the number of churches, given that 4,000 churches, looking into the issue of monitoring, the number of churches regulated, given the license to operate in the country, it is quite huge.
Regulation really doesn't go critically into the number. We cannot say the government, through the sector-specific legislation, has said the number of registered religious institutions cannot supersede 1,000.
This is your first time?
Yeah, I'm kind of scared, but I can do this.
Yeah.
Mess with me. Yeah, let's do this, man.
They are powerful and influential. They make decisions in politics, education, finance, agriculture, health, sports, and all aspects of human life. But the impact of their decisions falls on you, the common citizen. KUTV Primetime News Thursday. We ask bold questions and pursue answers to the core to bring you closer to the story. We couldn't have it any other way. Join me, Auma Evans, as I raise matters of social concern to raise your voice from the background to the foreground. Every Thursday and Saturday at 9 p.m. only on KUTV.
What are some of the ways through which you can develop these skills so that you are comfortably fitting into the job?
You have to put yourself in positions where you are uncomfortable in the sense that you are not clear about what to do.
Because I used to work a corporate job before. So when I left, I happened to visit someone's farm around this area.
So this project is called Security Breach Detect and Can Familiarize. It is meant to be used to detect, detonate explosive.
We'll tackle all the tough issues, discuss all the weird moments, and hopefully share a few laughs along the way.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Odida.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Let's continue with our coverage. Amid growing criticism over its continued support of Israel's military operation in Gaza, the United States defended its stance Sunday, but also reiterated the importance of protecting Palestinian civilians. Veronica Baldares reports.
More forcefully, with intensity. That's how Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described Sunday the advances of his troops in Gaza.
In order to achieve all our goals, the elimination of Hamas, the return of all our abductees, and the promise that Gaza will never again be a threat to Israel.
Netanyahu also thanked the United States for vetoing a UN Security Council resolution last week that would have called for an immediate ceasefire. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken explained the decision when interviewed Sunday on ABC's This Week show.
With Hamas still alive, still intact, and again, with the stated intent of repeating October 7th again and again and again, that would simply perpetuate the problem.
As Blinken stressed the importance of providing Israel the support and weapons it needs to defend itself, he made it clear it is not without conditions.
Those rules apply to Israel as they do to any other country, including the way they're used and the imperative of respecting international humanitarian law.
But as the civilian death toll continues to rise in Gaza, the United States stance has been strongly criticized at the Doha Forum, which is held every year to discuss world challenges.
It's not up to Israel only. It is those who have
those who have given the Israelis the greenest of the green light to continue killing the Palestinians.
In the United States, we had a very blunt conversation with Secretary Blinken. All of us, the Arab and Muslim delegation, were very clear. Our priorities are set. Stop the aggression, allow sufficient humanitarian supplies into all parts of Gaza, ensure protection of civilians.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, also a forum participant, said he'll continue appealing for a humanitarian ceasefire to be declared. And from Geneva, the chief of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, warned about the impact the war is having on the health environment in the Gaza Strip.
As more and more people move to a smaller and smaller area, overcrowding, combined with the lack of adequate food, water, shelter, and sanitation, are creating the ideal conditions for disease to spread.
He noted his organization has deployed teams to support health workers on the ground who are physically and mentally exhausted. Veronica Valderas Iglesias, VOA News, Washington.
All right, now it's time for a discussion of the night, and we want to talk about the implications of Kenyan government spending in 2023 and its broader economic impact to the country. Jim Jonyo is joining us live via Zoom to help us decipher this topic. Jim Jonyo is an economist, and it's not his first time here. So karibu tena, Jim. Good evening. So with the issue of time, let's just get right into a discussion of the night. I'm trusting you well. Now, the government's public spending has gone high, despite now President William Ruto's commitment to slash spending and borrowing, right? What would you attribute this turn of events to?
Well, thank you so much. Nice to see you again, Anne. I'll go straight to the point. I think right now we have nothing apart from to say that the country is not actually heading towards the right direction. And the main reason is because when the government came into the office, they started by creating many positions that actually led to more spending. So I think the problem we are solving right now when it comes to more spending is because they created the problem by themselves. So right now, well, it has happened now, we must find a solution. What is the solution? First and foremost, I'd really like to appreciate the court decision last week that denied the CAS from enjoying the benefit because the court actually confirmed that indeed the government operations are going on even without the CAS that was stopped from operation. So that is one of the ways of reducing spending. So a country like Kenya is a frontier economy, and a frontier economy must actually work on how to reduce their spending. That is the first step into prosperity. You don't tax to increase money so that you spend on the positions you created, but rather you find out the less important sectors that do not contribute towards the economic growth. Then you spend less on such areas. And the truth be told, we don't even understand the economic basis of why the government is actually borrowing more, yet they're still claiming that they want to reduce spending, and the purpose of borrowing is to spend. And in an economy, in an open economy like Kenyan economy, we expect that there are two main sources of revenue, and these two sources are, one is the taxes and the other one is borrowing. A country that borrows means that the country is spending more than what the country is getting from taxes. In economic terms, we call this one budget deficit. It exists whereby that the amount that is scheduled to be spent in a given financial year exceeds whatever has been collected in that particular year in terms of revenue. So I think what the government needs to do is to sit down with the team, reformalize come up with new policies. They accept the fact that indeed we created positions that have led to more spending as opposed to what we can actually raise, so that to meet the spending that we've actually created. And at least for that way, we can actually get a direction towards the economic prosperity of this particular country.
Now, Jim, with increased public spending, there's often a concern about inflation. So maybe how do you foresee the government's action impacting inflation, and what measures can be taken to manage potential inflationary pressures?
Oh, nice. Last week, actually, there's a policy that came in place by Central Bank of Kenya. In economics, we call it a contractional monetary policy. Contractional monetary policy, from the term contraction, it will lead to decline in economic growth. The contractional monetary policy that the CBK put in place was to increase interest rate from 10.5 to 12.5. That is a 2-digit increase in interest rate. And how does this thing going to lead to a reduction in inflationary pressure? When you increase the interest rate, it means that the cost of borrowing will be high, so people will shy off from borrowing money from the banks, and this one will lead to less money supply within the economy. And if this happens, it means that people will have less to spend within their pockets. And with this one, when we literally define inflation as the more money chasing few goods, this is the intention of the government to reduce the inflationary pressure. Yes, it is true. But remember, when I started, I said it is a contractionary monetary policy. Well, the government is trying to reduce the inflationary pressure by reducing the amount of money that circulates within the economy. They are trying to intrigue what we call a decline in economic growth, because once people are unable to borrow more money from the banks, it means there's low investment. It means there are low job opportunities. It means the businesses will not perform as per the required by their managers, or rather by the owners. So it means that the spending within the economy is going to go low. If the spending is low, definitely we call it there's a reduction in the aggregate demand and supply, and this one will automatically lead to something we call low economic growth. Yes, they want to solve the inflationary pressure by increasing the interest rate, but they are forgetting one thing, that in the long run, we are going to achieve low economic growth. So the government is supposed to come up with a policy mix. A policy mix is whereby you're including either contractionary monetary policy, then you counter the policy by an expansionary fiscal policy. The physical policies are the reduction in taxes. They also include things like increasing the spending by the government. But the monetary policies are the policies like the interest rate coming up or going up. So the government actually needs to come up with something called policy mix. Policy mix is whereby you get a monetary policy in place that, and you also counter it with a physical policy. For example, when you want to reduce the interest, when you want to increase the interest rate, you must ensure that you are increasing spending on the other side, so that while monetary policy is contractionary, physical policy will be expansionary, so that at the end of it, we achieve an economic growth.
Yeah. All right, great. Now, the government in October presented a supplementary budget to Parliament that increases the country's budget by over 5%. That is to 3.9 trillion from the estimated 3.6 trillion in the 2023-2024 financial year. Now, how do you anticipate this 5% increase in the budget to 3.93 trillion Kenya shillings? How will this influence the Kenyan economy? Now, particularly concerning its debt levels and overall fiscal health.
Well, thank you. I think it's straightforward. Once you increase your spending and you don't increase your income level, it means you'll have to borrow so that you fund this particular. It just happens, just like in our lives. You see, I have got 100 shillings. I want to spend, but then my budget is 150. Where am I going to get the 50 from my friend? That is borrowing. So the first effect is the government must borrow. That is first. If the government continues to borrow, the people who are going to pay for all this money is the citizens themselves, right?
Yeah.
And one, if the government borrows, as we've seen in the past, our government have been borrowing from, we call them the Bretton Woods institutions. These institutions are like the IMF, the World Bank. If the government goes and borrows at World IMF, a loan called collateral loan. These loans come with something we call SAPs. SAPs are defined as structural adjustment programs. These are economic reforms that are being put in place by the Bretton Woods institutions that the country that wants to take loan must adhere to them so that you get the loan. So this is how this is going to affect our overall physical well-being of the Kenyan citizen. When the government is going to get this loan to meet the 5% deficit, they are going to be given condition. The condition will either be removal of subsidies, which is going to affect the Kenyan economy either in the agricultural sector or maybe in the production sector. That is one. Another thing, it will be the devaluation of the currency. The reason why this one must happen is they will always ensure that when you are getting back the money, they're getting it in more than what they gave it to you. That is one. The third one is going to be the privatization.
Privatization.
Exactly, of the state-owned enterprises. Then another one is actually the increase of taxation. That is obvious. So when you increase tax because of the SAPs, you privatize the state-owned institution because of the IMF or rather the loan, you remove the subsidies. How do you feel that the country will actually get back to its economic pathways? So definitely the increase in the 5% is going to affect the common mwananchi directly from the pocket, because they are the people who are really going to suffer from this particular policy in the end. Because in economics, that a policy that cannot lead to an economic prosperity in the long run, that policy is bad. It rather destroys the economy in the short run while preparing for something good in the long run.
Now you're saying that we have to borrow in order for us to fill in the 5% deficit that the government is trying to achieve. Now, is the country really feeling the effect of these monies that you're getting from loans, positively that is?
Oh, nice. I think that is the most interesting part of it. Yeah. So, well, there's an increased public conscious about every now and again you see His Excellency traveling somewhere, and you see in the note there, the government is going to receive this amount of billion from India, the government is going to receive this amount from, from UAE, from IMF. So this consciousness has actually increased in the public conversation. So, well, we are asking ourselves, if you're borrowing money, we need to see the effect of this money being borrowed. We need to see that this money is being channeled to a development plan that maybe with time is going to start raising some money in form of revenue. And when this revenue will come, we expect that at least we, the citizen, we are going to pay less tax as before. So there's a way that money borrowed should be put in good use, so that at least the citizen can indeed feel that, well, the government went and borrowed this amount of money, and we've actually feel that indeed the money has been used well. So currently, I'll confidently say that we are seeing borrowings happening right, left, and center, but we are not being given a framework, or rather how this money being borrowed is being used. You see, we the citizen, we only see it's on the news, this amount of money is being borrowed, but from there we don't know where this money went to, we don't know the channels, we don't know how the cartel used the money. Actually, we don't understand how this money got into our economy. We only see it in the news, amount of billion was given to Kenyan government, but we can't actually account for where this money has been spreading all along within the economy. So we don't feel there's no positivity from the public when it comes to borrowing. We all feel like the money being borrowed is getting lost somewhere that we don't even understand, and therefore we don't feel its economic value.
Now, when you say that we are receiving money and we're not seeing where the money is going, that is true. Last week, President William Ruto got 38 billion dollars from India, and this was to monetize or to maybe improve the agricultural sector. And the agricultural sector, the president and the government rather in general, is seeking to create job opportunities for the Kenyan youth. Aren't you seeing this being actualized now when the government is trying to allocate more funds in the agricultural sector?
Well, about the jobs abroad,
in agriculture, in the country.
Well, sure. Because I wouldn't like to criticize about, the government exporting its citizens to other countries to do work. It's none of our business. If it's possible, well and good. But when it comes back to the country, you see, agriculture is a very, very crucial economic sector when it's come to prosperity for a given country. So the government needs to give more attention to this particular sector. But you find that some of the policies that are being put in place are not supporting this particular sector. And now this is whereby the government is maybe relaxing when it comes to diverting more resources towards this. We expect that when the government is taking all these borrowings, we expect a larger percentage of this amount is being directed towards the crucial economic sectors that might lead to creation of more job opportunities. Because, we might not even blame the government on this, because maybe not every jobless person wants to settle for a job in an agricultural sector, but we cannot run away from agricultural sector, because all industries must depend on agriculture, because all raw materials start from agriculture. So what the government needs to do is to just find a way to channel some funds with more particular sector. At least it can be checked upon, so that we can realize growth in this particular sector, so that at least we can create more employment. I don't believe in exporting brains to other countries as a way of increasing employment rate, because you see, even those other countries, there's no country that has 0% unemployment rate. So why do you want to take your citizen to another country, a country that also is looking for an employment opportunity for its own country?
All right. Jim, as we wind up, you mentioned something about now when we borrow, we are going to have to pay more than we took, and now that the shilling is depreciating against the dollar. Now, given the challenges in servicing these external debts, what strategies maybe do you recommend for effective debt management?
So currently the Kenyan shillings is at around 155, 157.
55.
55, yeah, sure. So Kenyan economy is an exporting country, and an exporting country must value its currency, so that at least the exports can be. We expect a country that Kenyan economy is an importing country. Sorry for that. So an importing country should have an overvalued currency, so that at least its imports are expensive, in a way that if the other people, if the trading partners import from our country, we get more money from the country, from the exchange. But again, there's another thing that works well, increasing the interest rate as done by CBK. The advantage of this when it comes to strengthening the Kenyan shillings is when the interest rate is high relative to the trading partners, it will make more investors to save money in form of Kenyan shillings. And this one is going to increase the demand of Kenyan shillings. If the demand of Kenyan shillings increase, It means that Kenya shillings is performing well in the global market, and with time, the currency will start to appreciate. So the first step is make sure that the interest, the exchange rate is a bit higher as compared to your trading partner. Then with time, the demand for this particular currency will be high, because people will feel like, if I save in Kenyan shillings, because the currency is getting stronger and stronger, it means that I'll be getting more. And I love to quote my from a certain speech by the 5th Vice President of Ghana. You don't need to look anywhere, just observe the exchange rate. It will tell you where the economy is heading to, because in an open economy like Kenya, you must depend on exchange rate to observe the movements within the market. So exchange rate is the most important thing, because it is one of the fundamental microeconomic variables that actually determine whether a country is heading toward the right direction or not. So the rule is high interest rate will make Kenyan currency attractive to the investors. Most of the investors will demand this money. When they demand this money, the value will increase, and when the value increase, we'll realize that our domestic currency will actually appreciate in value.
All right, that is Jim Jonyo. Jim Jonyo is an economist. Jim, thank you so much for making time for us tonight. We do appreciate you for your time.
Thank you so much, Anne, and nice to see you again.
Good to see you. Have a good night. Allow us to take another short break at this point. We're coming back with sports, so stay with us.
Kenyatta University will hold its 54th graduation ceremony on Friday, 15th December 2023 at the main campus along Thika Superhighway. KUTV will provide live coverage of the graduation ceremony. The graduation will also be streamed live on KUTV, KU Radio, KU website, and all KU social media platforms. For more information, please contact the Office of the Registrar Academic on 020-870-30920, 0786-335-111, or visit the Kenyatta University website on www.ku.ac.ke. The theme for the graduation ceremony is Scaling Education and Research for Sustainable Development. Kenyatta University, transforming higher education, enhancing lives.
Kutoka kuwa jamii ya kuhamahama na sasa kujumuisha kilimo katika mitindo yao ya maisha. Kwenye toleo la kaunti ya Narok, hii ni Boresha Kilimo, kwani afya bora ni kilimo bora.
Kwani kilimo ndicho huboresha maisha. From the hospital corridors, we bring you experts to discuss issues affecting your health, from diet to mental health. The familiar and the ignored are both put into perspective. We then dive into the environment and look at the effects of climate change and its solutions. Join me, Mutegi K. Martin, every Friday at 9 p.m. as we learn on how to better our health while taking care of our environment. Only on KUTV.
Let's now take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Kenya's Charles Muneria finished first to bag the gold medal in the Malaga Marathon 2023 in Spain after clocking a personal best time of 2 hours, 8 minutes and 54 seconds. Morocco's Abdelila El Mainouni finished second to win silver, and Kenya's Moses Mitei bagged bronze after finishing third in a time of 2 hours, 11 minutes and 31 seconds. In the women's marathon race, Kenya's Pamela Rutich bagged gold after finishing first, clocking a time of 2 hours, 33 minutes and 52 seconds, while Lilia Fisikovic from Moldova and Sweden's Hanna Lindholm finished in second and third place respectively. Tottenham Hotspurs are back to winning ways in the English Premier League and currently sit fifth at 3 points after the top four, after thrashing Newcastle United by 4-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. In the Spanish La Liga, Girona FC are top of the standings with 41 points after thumping the defending champions FC Barcelona 4-2 in the Catalonia derby, and Jose Mourinho's AS Roma are fourth in the Italian Serie A standings with 25 points after playing out a 1-1 draw against Fiorentina at the Olimpico Stadium. And finally, the best African football players in the men and women categories are set to be awarded tonight in a ceremony organized by the African Football Governing Body, the Confederation of African Football CAF. Some of the players nominated for the awards include Liverpool's forward Mohamed Salah of Egypt, Napoli striker and Italian Serie A top scorer Victor Osimhen of Nigeria, and PSG defender Ashraf Hakimi of Morocco. This ceremony will also see the best coach and the best football club in Africa awarded. The CAF 2023 Football Award ceremony is currently taking place at the Palais de Congrès at the city of Marrakech in Morocco. All right, that brings us to the end of our bulletin tonight. Many thanks indeed for keeping us company. Do enjoy the rest of your week. My name is Odida. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Samuel Kello. Have a good night and see you next week, inshallah.